Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek Brent here, Strike7Sports.com. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. Joined by my host Brian Bond and Leo DeSeaberry. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So we go right into it. Opening bell. We gonna talk about what went down last Saturday, this past Saturday, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, between the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. the and how it affects a certain player. The Indianapolis Colts had a 33-point lead over the Minnesota Vikings, but unfortunately, Minnesota was able to pull off the which is now the biggest comeback in NFL history, which was previously held by Buffalo Bills. So I think Minnesota won by a score of 39-36 in overtime. And a lot of jokes were made about Jeff Saturday being the first coach to blow a large deficit on a Saturday, but being and his last name Saturday and these other jokes and all that. But I want to ask y'all, man, like, how does this affect Matt Ryan's legacy since he was on the receiving end of which was pretty much the biggest collapse in Super Bowl history, 28-3, and now he's part of the biggest collapse in regular season history, 33-0. What y'all think?
As this was happening, I had a feeling that this was gonna
Hmm.
happen. Like I had a feeling, like you would tell, even as they made it 30, it was like 33, like 16 or some shit like that. I was like, for the Vikings, I sent in the group chat. The Vikings are gonna, coach gonna blow this. They're gonna blow this. Like this is a Matt Ryan. It's not even Matt Ryan's fault. Like that's what's crazy. Like you could argue an argument that like in the Super Bowl when the team collapsed, the offense got conservative in that second half. But you really can't blame him. Like you gotta be the defenses deserve some sort of blame. You spot somebody a 33-0 lead, you would have hoped. I mean, even though the defense was a big reason why they had the lead, but you would have hoped they'd keep it. Like as I was thinking through this, I'm like, not again. I just feel so bad for Matt Ryan. Like, are we gonna we're gonna remember his two biggest losses, like those two collapses more than we remember him being an MVP and shit. Like this is like the leg like his legacy is kind of starting to get more warped into where now it's not even I don't think he's a Hall of Fame candidate no more.
Dang,
I thought he was borderline.
really?
He was headed in the right direction when those last couple like those especially that MVP year. He was headed towards the Hall of Fame in my opinion. But I think it kind of these last few years kind of veered his way out of there slowly.
Mm.
And so like as we saw what happened, DB, this man's team just literally collapsed. I don't know what it is about Matt Ryan led teams with big leads. I guess they got to win. I don't know. It's just, but it just signified the Colts season. Like it really was just an epitome of high expectations, expecting them to maintain some sort of you win. You're up 33-0 against a really good team,
Yeah.
but like they just took their foot off the pedal and like Patrick Peterson said, they say he walked in the locker room and said we need 5 touchdowns. And they didn't give up no
Yep.
more. I don't think they gave up no more touchdowns after that. So
It was a
they just
wrap.
they scored. So and that's what happened. They got the 5 touchdowns and won. So it's shame on the coach though. Shame on the coach, and this just has been a bad year for them.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, for me, I'm happy because I'm a Titans fan. So, and in a weird way, the way it happened, while it sucks for the Colts their playoff chances, it helps them in terms of getting a higher draft pick to get a quarterback. So, it's obviously the way it happened sucks, but the long term prospects of it isn't the worst case in it. Isn't a bad situation. But yeah, Matt Ryan, this is the beginning of the end. I think you can make a case he can still make the Hall of Fame. He's had a really solid career, but the blown leads have not been great. But I won't blame them all on him. You do have an interim head coach, first time head coach, has never coached at the NFL level before, and the Colts just aren't a good team right now. That's really the main issues, and so to be honest, as much as the Colts blew this lead, This game really tells me more about the Vikings, to be honest with you. Not a lot of people will mention this, but this just proves to me more and more the Vikings are not they're a pretender, not a contender at all, and I won't be
Yeah.
surprised if they're one and done in the playoffs. But yeah, not a good look for the Colts. I'll be stunned if Matt Ryan's back, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just calls it a career. At this point, he's getting older. I think he has 1 year left on his deal. Maybe he plays. He's willing to take a pay cut and go somewhere else. But I think this is his last year in the NFL.
So y'all don't think he's a Hall of Famer?
Look, I think a lot of people get in the Hall of Fame, so I think there's a chance he can get in.
Me
But
too.
yeah, so that's what I really don't know, to be honest with you. I think it's a toss up.
The guy's numbers pulled up. Real. Give me a second. Let me pull up his numbers real quick.
When has Matt Ryan ever been the best quarterback in the NFL? Like even his MVP year, you wouldn't
Bro,
say he was the best quarterback. And it's like, you know what I'm saying?
he in 2018 he threw for he went for 30. Let me see. 2018 he threw for he had 35-7, man. 35 TDs, 7 interceptions, 4,900 yards. MVP year, 38-7, 4,900 yards again. He had a couple of 4,000-yard years, man. Was
Oh,
NFL MVP, been to a Super Bowl, um, been to 4 Pro Bowls, was Offensive Player of the Year, got the MVP award, threw for 62,792 yards, 381 touchdowns. I mean, I think that should get him in, but you never know, man, with these voters, man. Is he more of a Hall of Famer than Phillip Rivers?
no. Phillip Rivers is top 10 in touchdowns, top 10 in passing yards, basically top 10 in virtually any quarterbacks that's relevant.
Because some
So
people,
no, he's not more of a huh?
because some people think Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer.
I
I've
think
heard
he
people say
is.
that.
But he
I think
built
he
it
is.
off a long, like a lot of times they try to like say longevity. Like they've even tried to say people like Frank Gore are Hall of Famers. Like now that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
If you don't think
That's
Frank Gore is a
crazy.
Hall of Famer, the third leading rusher of all time, I think something wrong. But Philip Rivers is definitely a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I think he's more than Matt Ryan. Even though Philip Rivers never won an MVP, there was never a time when Philip Rivers was the best quarterback in the NFL ever, and we can all agree on that.
No.
Unless I just don't remember DB. You probably may remember more than me.
Nah, Phillip Rivers, man. Like to me, it's something like Drew Brees, man. It's like you're a great QB, but you're like there's Aaron Rodgers here, there's Peyton Manning here, there's Brett Favre on his last leg. You got Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And and for me, Phillip Rivers should have done more with his career in the playoffs because of the personnel he had. Man, he had some really good weapons to work with. So I get that part. But I think like, if you would have won that Super Bowl, he would have been a Hall of Famer. He would have been like a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. But I think he gets in eventually, but he's not first ballot to me. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. These blowing these leads is really bad on his on his resume, man. Because during that remember that pandemic year, he blew the Colts the Falcons was blowing leads as well that year. They blew a couple leads. So that is not a good look on his resume, man. But I don't know, man. I think he might retire, man. Because I think he's a bridge now, man. He's a bridge QB now, man. I think he'd be a really good bridge quarterback in my opinion.
Really
Somewhere.
good bridge. He's a
Yeah.
playoff making bridge guy, potentially with the right pieces around him. He's a guy you
Yeah.
can get the playoff with as a bridge, but I don't think that he's no longer a guy. He's not leading you to a Super Bowl.
You don't think he can? No.
No, I think it's time.
Even with a good offensive line?
Maybe I would always wanted to see him
Yeah,
with
the
the
commanders might kick
49ers.
the tires, man.
Who?
The commanders might kick them tires, man.
Maybe,
Bruh. Ooh.
but I always
I'd
wanted.
rather stick with Heineke.
Yeah.
Man,
Now I could
dog.
see them upgrading, but it
They
has
make
to
too
be
much mistakes, man.
a younger, more proven guy. But one more thing before I let you go, Leah. Um, I always wanted to see Matt Ryan with the 49ers. Because of how well he played with Kyle Shanahan. Um, I think he could have potentially been like I think peak Matt Ryan like would have been
Yeah,
better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
that should
Um,
have happened this year.
yeah, maybe
It could
maybe
have.
they could have. Yeah, they could have. But
Yeah,
I don't think he's at playing his best anymore. So I don't think it makes that much of a difference. You can make a case Brock Purdy has been their best quarterback. He would have thought that, but you can make that case.
God, they live.
Like you said, Matt Ryan, I agree, he's on his last legs of NFL quarterback relevancy. One question is relevant. Like I think, if Frank Reich had been given a whole season, could
Yeah,
they have possibly turned it around? We'll never know. Um, Honestly, because while everything was going down south, Frank Reich was not responsible for all of their problems. I
nah, it
do.
wasn't.
I told y'all I could see him getting fired, but he was really more of a scapegoat than anything. And you also remember that they benched Matt Ryan for Sam Ellinger. Keep that in
Yeah,
mind too. And then, which was a failed experiment. And then right afterwards, Matt Ryan gets. I think after like what was it, 2 games, one game,
yeah.
he got pulled right up off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Matt Ryan's done. I can't say he's not done because I don't like writing quarterbacks off because I've written plenty of quarterbacks off and then they go on to do extraordinary things. So hey, what if he's leading somebody to the playoffs next year? I don't know. I don't know. Like we don't see it.
That's
We don't see it, DB. But these things, there are sometimes there's in the NFL. Heck, who would have thought Taylor Heineke would have freaking led the Commanders to the playoff game? So like, and we're on the verge of winning a playoff game. So I can't write guys off anymore because you see a lot of surprises.
yeah, that's true. All right, so now we go bring it over to the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, Mr. Jeff Saturday. So 5 games in, is Jeff Saturday head coach material, man?
Hey, for most organizations, no. But with Jim Irsay running the Colts, I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone would be laughing at that decision. And it's not a knock against Jeff Saturday. I think maybe eventually he could be a good coach. I just don't think he's ready right now.
But look at the games that they played and they were close. Besides the Cowboys blew out.
And that was in the fourth quarter. So I mean,
Yeah,
wow,
and
it's not like
they kept that one tight.
yeah,
This game against Minnesota, the offense put up 33 points. So 33 points. So to me, that's like he knows like what to do. It's just that for what I see, it's just that he just don't know how to manage the clock,
yeah.
maintain a lead, be consistent in what you're doing. So to me, I mean, it's good for the experience. But I think he knows he has an idea what to do or what's going on with how to run to be over NFL franchise to me.
Um, I think he kind of, like you said, DB. A lot of his issues were rookie issues, like team, like just not having ever had that experience and never been in
Yeah.
situations. And like you said, he has the fundamentals to be a good head coach. But I think he'll be better off being an assistant because I don't know if he gets the full time job unless. Only way I think he gets the full time job is if the coach go in full rebuild mode.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
like if they were like, okay, we're gonna have a young head coach with a young team, and they try to
Yeah.
look to move guy. I mean, move a guy like Shaq Leonard. Shaq Leonard. Shaq. I wouldn't be surprised if they look to try to move Jonathan Taylor next year. You wouldn't be surprised if they go into full rebuild mode, like into where they try to
They
get
have to. They get something for that, man.
yeah, like cause yeah, if they want to get like high picks and stuff, get the quarterback they want. If they definitely look to move Matt Ryan off their last year his deal, or just I don't think a straight cut is the move for them. But I can see him definitely getting the job if they look to rebuild. Now, if they look to retool, which is like see if their defense gets healthy,
Yeah.
I think they go with another guy. But if they look to rebuild, I think he may give a chance. These last 3 games are gonna tell a lot too. because I
Yeah,
think it's like organization like that who's likely to not making the playoffs.
yeah, they done, man.
They're not making the playoffs, so they're just looking at this point. It's about evaluation of the talent that they have now, and just evaluating the rest of their staff. But a lot of these guys are coaching for their NFL future. So, and Saturday it's going to be an interesting story. Now, I wonder what you think. DB, you think he gets the job?
I don't think he gets a job, man. I think he goes back to the studio at ESPN, back on Get Up and what's the other one? NFL Live it's called.
Yeah, he got NFL countdown.
First take.
NFL Countdown. First Take, all the other shows must be nice, but it is what it is. But or I mean somebody else noticed it and said, hey, look, can we hire you as an assistant, coach the O line? You may stay in there, stay in the profession. I'm surprised your boy doing is pretty good. Brian, what's his name is? Brian Greasy.
Yeah.
And who was on Monday Night Football last year?
Quarterbacks coach in San Francisco.
Yeah. Football Michigan QB. Played
Mm.
behind played in front of Brady.
I'm
Yeah,
not
so
surprised. He was always, I thought, a really good analyst. That being
yeah.
said, how much of I'm not saying he doesn't deserve any credit, but when Kyle Shanahan's your coach, and
Yeah.
yeah, and the quarterbacks they had, it's a QB friendly system. It's kind of
Yeah.
hard to judge you on whether you're doing a good job or
That's not
not.
his fault.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right. All right, moving right along, man. All right, man. So here we go again with these playoffs again. We talked about them last week. Now we talking about them again. This time, the Green Bay Packers um picked up a win yesterday against the LA Rams. Rams are eliminated from playoff contention, and Green Bay is, I believe, in the 10th spot right now. You got Detroit, and you got the goddamn Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks in front of them. So they got Green Bay. Green Bay has the Miami Dolphins just for Christmas, down in South Beach in Miami. So with these final games left in the season, can Green Bay make a strong playoff push and get into the playoffs?
Yep, I really, really do. I was even, it's funny we're talking about this. I was looking at all the scenarios earlier today. They can finish 9-8, and the Lions can finish 9-8. But the Lions, it'll come down to strength and victory. And right now, the Lions have a good edge on that. So they probably need the Lions to lose twice. And the Lions have a tricky game against the Panthers. I think the Lions are going to win, but it's at Carolina. Carolina has been really, really tough to play against under Steve Wilkes, and I can see them winning that game. But yeah, I think the Packers can win out. They're playing much better football, and as long as you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, you have a shot. They have a tough test. I think it's at Miami against the Dolphins, who have been struggling. So this will, the Dolphins will be trying everything to end their streak. So this is going to be probably their toughest test. But if they get past this one and win out, I think they got a shot. Need a few other things to get their way, but they got a shot.
Um, I don't. I don't think they're winning out. I think that they may beat the Dolphins who are down or tailspin on a tailspin. I don't think. I mean, beat the Packers who are on a tailspin. I don't think they beat the Vikings on January 1st. That first game of the season. I know they've grown since then, but I think the Dolphins overall have a better roster. Not Dolphins, excuse me. Vikings have a better roster, and I think, especially, I know it's gonna be at Green Bay, but I just think the Vikings are just the kings of the division now. Like you just see it, like you look at it, they pulverized. There's no way to say it. Like you got to go against this team again. Like I don't see it. And then Lions. I think, like you said, I think they beat the Packers the first time. I think they
Yeah, they
did.
did. They did. They did.
So
They did.
yeah, they did. So you're going against two teams that you have combined 0-2 already. They already beat you, and they beat you pretty. I mean, I know the Lions. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be a fluke thing. They're high right now. They high. They a high team. So I don't see them winning. I see um the team. They may beat the Dolphins, but after that, it's gonna be sayonara to their season. I think the Lions gonna be the team that gets in the playoffs. The Detroit Lions. The Detroit. I think Green Bay becomes an afterthought, and I think Bold prediction. I think this is gonna be it for Aaron.
Dang, so I don't know, man. I think he's ready. I think he's ready. He's motivated again. So,
With
But
3 games left,
bro, so you think that? So if let's say they beat Minnesota and they beat Miami this Saturday, and
hmm
if they put the Detroit game on prime time at Lambeau Field, you don't trust Aaron Rodgers?
I like. I ain't gonna lie. It depends. The Lions don't look bad though. Like I trust Aaron Rodgers, but I trust what I seen from the Detroit offense too. Their offense is legit. Like you can't deny that. Like this legit. They tore apart some pretty what we thought was some pretty good defenses. Like
Yeah,
they've done that. They found ways. You got to give Detroit. Dan Campbell is. You got to give that man credit. Like I trust Dan Campbell to come up with a good playing game plan against Aaron Rodgers too though. Because the Lions defense has got better low key over the last couple of weeks. Especially they showed some improvement in their Jets game. I trust Dan Campbell too. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers, never doubt him, but got to give credit to what I also have seen from Dan Campbell too.
yeah, you're right. What you think, Brian? I
yeah,
don't know, man. That's hard, bro. That's just like Aaron Rodgers in the prime time set with the playoffs on the line.
yeah,
I see him did it before, man.
yeah,
I see him did it in Chicago in 2013. Last play, overtime.
yeah.
I
The
don't know,
Lions'
man.
best bet. Excuse me.
But
You done?
yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. The Lions' best bet is not risk it coming down to that game. Try to just clinch the playoffs, and I'm not sure they have to win out, I guess, to do that. A little bit of help, but um, just don't think that you're gonna beat Aaron Rodgers because I know they did it before, but Aaron Rodgers with the playoffs on the line is a different animal, and they're playing Green Bay. Sometimes it's not who you play; it's sometimes when you catch them. And the Packers are playing really, really good football right now. So I would choose the Packers to win that game and get in. But they can, like I was saying earlier, they could beat the Lions, and depending on the strength of victory, that's what it'll come down to. If they have the same record, the Lions could still get in. So if you somehow, you can't obviously lose twice, but if you do lose to the Packers, if you make it close enough, it could be the difference between you getting in or missing out. So that's going to be something to monitor too.
Yeah, but if they get in, man, I think they're a threat, man. They're scary.
Yeah.
I think they could beat. So if they're the seventh seed, they got to play Minnesota.
Yeah. I'll
I
take the
think, bro.
Packers.
Come on, man. They could beat Minnesota.
They're gonna get destroyed.
I'd probably pick the
You think
Packers
so?
or the Lions to beat the Vikings.
Brian, you
Y'all
just
think
hate the
Minnesota
Vikings,
strong,
like
man?
Brian.
Look,
Brian, it's a personal vendetta you have against the Vikings. I don't know
I
what
have
it is.
nothing. But so if we had to label one of these terms on them, contender or pretender, which one are you giving them?
Contender. They've been dominant. They
My
they
goodness.
they know how to win close games.
Yeah,
Don't
they
that's
can
teams
also.
good.
that usually don't teams that usually win. This is the same team that went to Buffalo and pulled out a game in overtime. But we're just gonna act like that didn't happen. That's the type of game. That was a playoff type game that they won. Am I not lying? Is that not a playoff scenario that could possibly happen with them pulling out a game, a close game against like a Buffalo caliber team in the NFC? That's a playoff caliber situation. I can't just pull off the negative superlatives to superlatives and just ignore the fact that they've only lost 3 games the whole year. Is that not a legitimate statement?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. But it's
you're right.
if you've only won a lot of close one score games, that also proves that you're in close games and they can flip either way. It's not like they've dominated people.
But they're
So
10-0 though.
But yeah,
yeah,
you're
So
10 and
yeah.
0 in close in one score games.
But all right,
That's going to be NFL history. I don't think any team's done that.
all right. Y'all want to make a friendly wager on
Nah,
even we'll see. All right,
nah,
that means y'all know y'all probably gonna lose, right?
nah.
That's
I just know that go ahead, Brian. I just know that Brian. We just know that if a team can pull out, like in the playoffs, it's about situational football. You can make a case, okay, in their losses they've been dominated somewhat, but when they won games, they know how to handle situational football against some pretty good teams. The Buffaloes is a team that some people have some winning the whole tournament. So if
All
I
right.
know they can handle situational football against a very good team, I'm not going to let what I saw in terms of their losses affect the overall viewpoint of how I feel about Minnesota. I don't think they're a one and done team. They may be second round and done, but I don't think this team's losing if they're the 2 seed to a 7 seed, in my opinion.
Bro, I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs is different, man. Whoa, let me take that back. It depends because Aaron Rodgers at home versus Aaron Rodgers on the road is very different. I think he's better when he plays on the road
Yeah,
instead
I
of
saw
playing in Atlanta.
15 and 1. Aaron Rodgers went home in the divisional round.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, against Eli,
Yeah.
playoff Eli. Yeah, that's scary
Hmm.
right there too. All right, man. So I think they, I think if they get in, man, it depends who they draw. I think if they get Minnesota, man, they could get them, man. One thing I know about Minnesota, if they can't keep it close, they get blown out. If they can't keep it close, they get blown out.
Yeah.
So
That's
we'll see. All right, man. So for this next topic, man, I would like to get a lot of insight from Brian on these Tennessee Titans. I know everybody, the slogan is tighten up, right? But lately it's been tightened down. And I told you in the chat, RIP to the Tennessee Titans dominating the AFC South because when you get one of these quarterbacks in your division, you got to have the personnel to deal with him. And I don't know if the Titans can do it. But for right now, for this season, we're not looking at beyond. For right now, gut feeling, do you think the Titans win the AFC South?
Yeah, I think they do. But if you ask me to bet money on it, I probably wouldn't. So that tells you I believe they do, but I'm not that confident they do. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's ultimately going to come down to that final game against Jacksonville. I think they beat the Texans, but maybe lose to the Cowboys, and then the Jags take care of business to set up that final game. They have a tough one or a trap game against the Jets this week, but I think they get the job done because I just trust Trevor Lawrence over Zach Wilson. But I think the Titans, I just think they've been there and done that, and I just believe in them just a little bit more than the Jags. But if the Jags end up winning the division, I wouldn't be surprised because the Titans have kind of just collapsed.
Yeah, I suppose, man. Go ahead, Leo.
As somebody who proudly picked the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the division, I'm more than ecstatic about the Titan down situation. The defense is really getting exposed to like what's supposed to be the really you talking about the offensive deficiency. The team has very weak defensive as well. Like I thought they were supposed to be back end is not as solid as I thought it was. Um, I this is a serious question. I'm not even sure is Kevin Byard healthy?
I think he is.
I haven't heard anything from him. I've heard more about their rookie McCreary than I've
Yeah,
heard
he's
about than
solid.
Bayard. Yeah, he's been solid, but the other back end is not. It's kind of inconsistent. I think y'all they are missing a lot of pieces like Fulton. Fulton, I don't think he's playing. Is he playing Fulton?
I haven't been
No.
paying attention to Titans game because I've been busy on Sundays. But our biggest issue is our offensive line and our offense in general. It's just not good enough. And that's really what's preventing us from maybe reaching our ceiling. And there's a good chance Malik Willis starts this week. I probably would start Malik Willis. We have some leeway, and I think we can beat the Texans without him. It won't be easy because they've been playing pretty well lately. And also, we want Ryan Tannehill to be healthy when it matters most. So I think I'm fine with giving Malik Willis the reins this week so Ryan Tannehill can get healthy. And not just because I want that, but also there's a chance he's probably not going to play anyways. So
Who y'all got?
say what?
Who y'all play?
Texans. So
Hey,
yeah,
Texas has been giving
yeah.
teams a hard way to go
Nah, they
lately.
Yeah,
kick
it's
G's
not
into
going to
Texas.
be easy. They've been playing people well. So Malik Willis will have to play better than he played last time. Even though
Yeah,
we won, he'll have to play a little bit better, I think, to beat them this time.
bro,
Uh, but yeah,
bro, he threw for 50 yards plus some yards last game. Like that's unacceptable with the NFL quarterback. Like it's unacceptable. You can't throw for 50 yards in an NFL game, bro. 50 yards. The guys are getting it off one pass, bro. Like I like Malik. I want Malik to do well, especially as a black quarterback. Like obviously you want him to do well. It's not even just that. I just want him to do well as a guy. Like I'm all for positivity and guys doing well, but bro, like you can't. And obviously you could tell the game is just like it came very fast to him. So I want Malik to do well, but at the same time, y'all, I just don't know, man. The Titans, I don't think they're gonna get in, bro. Like I just don't think that they're. I don't like what I've seen. Jacksonville turned a step. Like there was a turn. Jacksonville had one of those wins when they beat Tennessee. That's one of those season changing wins because you see it come. The momentum built. You beat Tennessee, then you just beat Dallas. You know how much of a wave Jacksonville's on right now? That's a high wave right now, and then it's gonna continue when they beat the Jets on Thursday. Because Zach, like Brian said, he was gonna go with Jacksonville if Jack Wilson's starting. He's still starting, so it means Jacksonville's gonna win, and that'll be three straight victories. And then they play the Texans. They won't be
That's
easy, but
easy.
huh?
It's easy, yeah.
That'll be easier compared to what the other games they played. And then they get the Titans. So Jacksonville could be entering that Tennessee game on a 4-game win streak. That's very possible. And I think Tennessee's on a because I don't think Tennessee's beating the Cowboys because the Cowboys are still have if they beat the Eagles, will still have something to play for. They're not beating the Cowboys, respectfully. They're not. So and then if they don't win, if the Titans don't beat the Texans, man, sheesh, man, I just don't know. I told you, Brian, they could lose out. I told you that before last week, so I'm 1/4 of the way there. So you just hopefully the other 3/4 come through, and then everything will be taken care of like I predicted. But in all seriousness, though, man, I want Malik Willis to do well,
Yeah.
but
Me too.
I just don't think, like you said, Brian, them offensive woes that y'all have are real. And the defense isn't helping. Y'all don't have a steel curtain defense like they can shut down teams, and you can't. Y'all not gonna win a 7-3 game. Like, no, you don't have that defense, so y'all are in trouble.
Well, let me push back on the defense. Our front seven's pretty solid, and we've been having a few injuries. I think our defense is legit. It's our offense that I'm worried about. And like you're saying about Malik Willis, I love the kid, but he's a project. And so one of my other big issues with the Titans, I personally would have just redshirted him this year and had a better backup quarterback there. But it's fine. He's getting some playing time. But in situations like this, I just don't. He was able to do good enough to beat the Texans, but the Texans weren't playing as well as they're playing right now. So this is going to be a really, really interesting game to watch.
Hey, can I ask you this, Brian?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so what's the plan with Tannehill next season?
That's a good question. That's a really, really good question. I think he's back, but I think they can save money by getting rid of him. So depending on, I feel like if it's Mike Vrabel's decision, he's probably back. But the new GM, if that he may decide he wants someone else there, and so that's going to be a really, really interesting situation to watch. They could also trade him to you. So
Uh, would James be an upgrade?
now, well, I have to just depend on if we change OC. Probably not, but that'd be interesting. I've been a fan of Jameis. He did good when Sean Payton was there with the Saints, and struggled this year. I thought he maybe should have got another chance, but I give credit to Andy Dalton for holding him off. But
Welcome back.
I think I probably prefer someone more. What's the right word I'm looking for?
Derek Carr.
That would be funny.
I
Yeah,
think I
I
need
wouldn't
an
mind
upgrade
Derek Carr.
quarterback,
Probably
man.
someone more productive. Uh, I haven't seen too much from James, and he does throw a lot of interceptions. So uh, I wouldn't mind him as a backup, but I don't know if I want him as our starter.
Y'all
Unless
need y'all need to upgrade on our offense, man. Y'all OC, man, just
we just need to upgrade on our offensive identity. Like it's like we're running offense from the 1980s. It's just so old school, and I mean, and it's good to a sense, but it's just I don't think good enough to get you where you want to be.
you'll learn one day. Talking about Mike Vrabel, how to run a offense that's up to the times because
Yeah.
you can't do that against like I said, like once you get a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence in your division, you gotta like have like equal on this on the other side. So we'll see. All right, we got a question from Jeremy Liggins. Thanks for watching tonight. He said, what's y'all's NFL MVP this year, guys? Mine is Jalen Hurts, man. I think Jalen Hurts is the front runner to win MVP. What y'all think?
Um, yeah, I'm fine with Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes.
Now, Joe Burrow?
Yeah, Joe
Burrow,
Burrow's another
man.
one. I forgot about him. Yeah, you could give it to him too.
What you got, Leo? What you got?
I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I think he's put himself like the Chiefs. I can't like trust me as a Raiders fan. I watch my team get pummeled twice a year by this guy, and this year he's just like been on a new level, especially without Tyreek Hill. So I say Joe Burrow.
Okay. But you know what though? I think I think Cincinnati could go into Buffalo and Kansas City and win both and beat both of them and get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They think they're that good, man. So we'll see. He gonna cut out. All right, man. Moving right along, man. We're gonna go to the NBA and talk about the Golden State Warriors and what's been going on with them lately. Without Steph Curry, they're currently in the 11th place in the Western Conference standings, which means that they are a play-in qualified team to play in the participate in the NBA playing tournament in that range. But they have lost um, four of their last six. They lost four of their last six games. 15-17 record, under 500. Clearly not the threat that they usually are right now without Steph Curry. Do you think that do you think that the Warriors can get this thing going without Steph in the lineup, or is it more bad news, more bad losses to come?
Um, the West hasn't been as strong as it's been in years, so I think they can still hang around. But if they're not careful, if they miss the playoffs, I won't be surprised.
You'll be surprised. What you think?
I think that the West, like you said, Brian, it's not. They said DB, it's not. I don't think it's as strong as it used to be. But you never just count them out. Like when I think they gonna hang around and be somewhere probably like between 5 and 8. But they not
Yeah,
nobody gonna want to see them in the first round. Nobody. Especially if they get a full Steph
not even the
Curry.
Grizzlies.
No, no, they not gonna want to see them.
Sure.
Who? That's gonna be a dangerous 6 or 7 seed. If they like slide to like number 6, I wouldn't want no parts of them because they gonna be fully healthy by the playoffs. And if
Oh
they
yeah.
they get anything from James Wiseman, is anything he give you positive is an additional plus. So I'm not saying they not banking the bank on him or anything, but they get any sort of positivity from him. He might be an X factor for real. I think he will be like because I believe that he's gonna get it together. So I think he can
Wiseman.
be an X factor, huh?
Wiseman.
Hmm. I think
I
he'll get it
love James
together.
Watson, but I feel I'll be surprised if he's not traded.
To
What?
who?
I don't
To
know,
who?
but
Mm,
Charlotte would be interesting. They need a big Golden State. Look, Golden State. It's not all James Wiseman's fault, but they're trying to win now, and he doesn't fit that timeline. That's kind of like what a lot of Warriors people, fans on Twitter are saying. Like, there's like kind of a issue with winning now, and some players that can help you long term. And so I just think Wiseman, maybe Moody. I don't. Some people have thrown up Kaminga, but I don't see that happening.
Mm-mm.
Uh, they're gonna. I believe they'll make a move at the trade deadline.
Some people have
For
talked
who?
about him going to San Antonio for more experience, being like a Jakob Pertl.
Yeah.
That's been a rumor. There's been like Lakers talks, rumors that try to get him popular target for the even been like Miles somewhat. They've kind of died down because of the Pacers been playing somewhat decent. Miles Turner rumors. They still
Yeah,
been there. He's been like a trade rumor for the last couple of years. Try to move him to go say. So it's been multiple rumors like about multiple teams. That they could make a move. I have heard the trade James Wiseman rumors too, but I still think that they believe in him somewhat. I think they do have some belief in him, and so and I think there's still a lot to be worked with there, and I think he can help them now, Brian. Because behind him, behind Looney, who do you really have besides Wiseman and Looney? They don't really have anybody, so he might be becoming a necessity out of default.
Well, their best thing when the Warriors are at their best, they go small so they can play Draymond at the five. I'm not saying they don't need another big, but if you would really, you can make case Looney's best off the bench and get you a real. If you want to get a guy like a Jakob Poeltl or Miles Turner or someone like that, you can do that. And so I think for both parties, I think it'll be best if James Wiseman goes to a team that fits his timeline, like a Charlotte, like a Houston, like a San Antonio. I just think that would be better for him. Think about it. This team won the title. I know it's a year ago and they lost some people, but they won the title when he didn't play any meaningful minutes. And so, if you want to keep him long term, that's fine. But it doesn't make sense if you're trying to win right now.
maybe. Um, my thing is, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Shouts out to Damian Adams, the real deal at Damian Adams on Twitter. He had a video that came out like a few days ago explaining like a potential cause on why the Warriors are struggling. He was saying that when Steph Curry was healthy and everybody else was healthy, that they sit out a lot of games, like a load management type thing, and that affected them now that Steph is out and now they got to win games. So what do y'all think about that?
Um, uh, I'm sorry. I missed. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I
You were
kind of
saying that the Warriors set out a lot of games.
yeah,
Like at the start when Steph was healthy,
yeah,
like when people were getting mad that Steph wasn't playing against the Pelicans and they didn't start J-Ron and Clay, everybody, they were setting players out early in the season. Now
yeah,
that Steph's hurt, they got to win games now
yeah.
because they dropped the games where they lost the games to where Steph was healthy and he set out. So what do you think about that? That being a cause now.
I'm fine with that. I don't like to see it. Like the Lakers basically punted a game against the two games I know for sure they did the Raptors and the Suns yesterday. So it happens. All of the teams do it. I see his point, but especially you think about it's early in the season. So it's one thing they're doing that right now, but they're not. And so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think that'll be the reason why they missed the playoffs. If they missed the playoffs, they just simply weren't good enough, not because they maybe rested a few players during the season.
But you need those
Uh,
games now. You need to need to win those games now though that you didn't win.
Yeah, but you can't win every game, and so yeah, I see what you're saying. That it helps if the more games your stars plays, it helps your chances. But I mean, you can't win every game, and so it's hard to rest early, save those legs for later in the season when you need them. And but like I said, if they really want to help themselves, they got to make a trade or two, help this roster get better, add some veteran leadership, and take it from there. But yeah, I see his point, but I disagree with it.
Sting Leo.
I think that personally, um, wrestling players, the losses, like let's say you point at some games, those games add up.
You're right.
Keep
That's
that
what
in
I'm saying.
mind. They do add up. And I don't think that's Steve Curry is banking on the fact that they have Steph Curry. Like I think he's doing it. Like I do see what somewhat Damien was saying, and I somewhat see where he's coming from. Like, cause banking Steph Curry at the end of the day, he's a great player, no doubt. We obviously one of the greatest ever. But the man 34 years old. Like you banking on like you asking Steph to carry the franchise every night. And then when he doesn't play, it's like the team's so discombobulated. Like the Knicks have been playing great, but there's no way in the world you should lose to them by 38 points, 38 plus some points like that. Shouldn't let tonight. Like there's no excuse, no excuse. When you have elite talents on your team, Jordan Poole is an elite player,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Like what?
He had a great game tonight,
Hmm.
and he's an elite. He puts up. I don't know. I don't think. I think he puts up solid numbers, and like I just they're so Steph centric that when he's not there, it's just things go south. Like, and they have the talent to keep up. But keep in mind, no Wiggins too, though. No Wiggins too. No Curry too. I think they could offset it a little bit if they had Wiggins. But
Hmm.
they're not winning. They're not going to. If those guys were out for the season, the Warriors would not make the playoffs. They would. But I think with Wiggins, it can offset it a little bit. But like said, Curry, he's gonna come back. Maybe not. He could be back for the Memphis game.
Yeah.
He's not
So
going to be back for the Memphis game.
that's what they
I
said
think
on the
I,
huh?
Nah, he won't be back. I don't think he'll be back.
yeah.
You don't think he'll be back?
I think
Nah,
I saw
not too
something.
soon.
Yeah, I think I saw something there that said he's probably the best case scenario. He'll be back after the new year, so he's gonna miss the Memphis game.
All right, hold on for a second. Hey, we got another comment from Jeremy, man. Appreciate it. He said, let's be honest, guys. James Wiseman is way better than Looney, and it's not even close. All he needs is confidence and get his swagger. He'll be fine. I don't know. Looney, man, I
Yeah,
seen it from Looney. You know what I'm saying?
Looney's
I
a better
seen
fit.
Looney do it, bro.
Looney's a
yeah,
better fit.
Wiseman, I'm just like, win, win.
He's not wrong from a talent standpoint.
yeah.
Right.
Looney has the talent. I mean, Wiseman has probably his physical talent and his ceiling is way higher than Looney's. But Looney is just a better fit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
like
he
the
just
fit on a team like the Warriors. It's not really about how much talented you are. It's about can you fit. That's why when people was talking about like the Pat Bev, Russell Westbrook, I remember I'm a huge Russell Westbrook fan, but it's just because it's just like fit. Can you fit? Can you like Pat Bev can go play on any team in NBA. Kevin Looney can go play on any team in NBA. He fits. Like
does
his
Pat Bev with the Pelicans?
huh?
Does Pat Bev with the Pelicans?
Yes. You already have a Pat Bev and Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, we already got it.
Yeah, you have a Pat Bev
Milwaukee,
already. Yes. He can fit on any
Memphis,
team. The who?
Memphis.
Oh, for sure. Fits the grit and grind mode.
Oh yeah, he showed. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
He can fit
But he
on
don't fit the
any.
Lakers. So.
He, it's just it's kind of we don't like those gritty guys play. We like the stars, but that's just the only reason why he doesn't work here, work there. But I mean, this guy like Looney can go play on any team in the NBA. He's a fit. Like he can fit, especially with what the Warriors are doing. I think James, for him to really be who he is, he's gonna have to go to another team. And I don't think they should because I think I don't believe in giving up on picks like that. Like you got to give a guy some time. He's been hurt, but I think for him to really reach his cap as an NBA player, it won't be on the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when he got drafted by them, it was kind of like unfortunate circumstance because that's a team that's used to contending for championships, and they were drafting real high because of the injuries, and that's just what happened. You know, they're on the accelerated timeline for championships, and sometimes young talent could get caught up if they don't fit in like right away. So there's that. But did y'all see the game between Milwaukee and New Orleans last night?
No.
JV dropped 37 points and still was enough. Jones Valanciunas,
Yes, I saw the game. He was backpacking the whole night. Zion went MIA. I was very
yeah, he had
disappointed in
18.
Zion. He got put in the box.
Yeah, when Giannis off going off like that, it's hard. He had 42 last night. And
I
Pelicans,
saw
man,
that
I don't
game.
know, bro. They got exposed a little bit during this stretch, bro. You saw what Utah did to him?
Yeah, Laurie marketing. You couldn't go out Laurie marketing.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
They
Utah,
struggle
Utah,
against power.
man.
They
Go
struggle
ahead.
defensively. They struggle
Yeah.
defensively against really good power forwards. Like Zion's just not. He's not. He's there offensively. I just don't think he's ready defensively to compete against a level against even middle. Because Laurie Marketing is while having a good year is a middle of the tier power forward. He's a middle of the
But
tier, a middle of the pack power forward. If we keep it in the book,
Mhm.
he's having a great year, but he's a middle of the pack power forward, and they struggle against guys like. I mean, of course, Giannis. Who we not expecting. Nobody's expecting him to stop him, but Lloyd Marketing, no
Mhm.
reason why. Even though he did have 9 threes tonight, but that's not the point. It's just the point of the matter. He's a middle of the tier guy. Like and y'all, this gonna be y'all downfall in the playoffs. Y'all go against a team and like a. I could see DeAndre have Aiden having a big nights against y'all, respectfully. Even with Jonas's big performances, because Jonas ain't doing it every night.
We just gotta avoid Utah, man.
yeah. Um,
Utah, go ahead, man.
yeah, what I was gonna say. I think I just don't. I've never been a fan of this front guard. It's actually been better than I thought. But I think obviously Zion will start. They need to get like a Miles Turner. Nerlens will now. Well, his name has been mentioned. They need even maybe even start Larry Nance. But I just don't think the fit with Zion and Giannis is good defensively. And if they're not careful, it could potentially cost them a playoff series or a playoff game or two. So I think that they got to figure that out, not just this year, but long term, who that guy will be.
Yeah. All right. That's all we have for y'all for right now, man. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel. Hey, let us know how you feel with the topics we talk about tonight. You listen to this through Apple or Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave your reviews. This is our last pod for the year. It was a great year. We growed a lot in numbers, more subscribers. We're trying to take it to the next level. 2023. We'll be back around a few days after New Year holiday, and hopefully by that time the playoffs will be figured out. But you never know. And I think the CFP starts around that time, so we'll be discussing that as well. So we have for y'all for tonight. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. What's the other one? Hanukkah. What's the other one? I don't know. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see y'all in 2023. Fresh out.